Okay, students, so we're going to show you really quick how to get some one variable statistics from your TI-84 Plus calculator. And I'll even show you how to get two variable statistics if you're interested. So usually you're wanting to know the average and the standard deviation, and that can be found in one bar stats. So you have to press the stat key, you have to go to edit, and you have to enter data. If you're going to just do one variable, it's usually standard practice to enter data into list 1. And I've already entered a few data points, okay? Once you've entered your data, you go to Stat, over to Calc, and hit one var stat, which is number 1. This calculator can access from 2 points. If you press Enter, it will default to list 1, or you can tell it physically list 1 by pressing your second key and your number 1 key. See, it says L1 in blue. So either way, and you get the average, x bar, you get the sum of the x's, meaning if you summed up the data points, you get the sum of the x squareds, which means if you squared each data point and then added it, you get Sx, which is what this calculator calls the sample standard deviation, which you use. Sigma x is something a little bit different that I encourage my students to ignore. N is the sample size. The minimum data point was 3. The first quartile is 4.5. The median, or the second quartile, is 12. The third quartile is 21. And the maximum data point was 24. So it can show you all that information in one variable statistics. Now let's assume that you have two variables. As you can see, I have data points both in list 1 and in list 2, and they are corresponding pairs of data. So maybe if you wanted to calculate two variable statistics for some reason, you would hit it, and as it prompts you, it either wants you to hit Enter and it will use its default lists, which are list 1 and list 2, or you can physically tell it list 1, comma, list 2. And then press Enter. If you have different lists, maybe you were using list 3 and list 6, you would tell it that. So as you can see, we have all the x information, and then we have the y information. So the average of the y's, the sum of the y's, the sum of the y squareds, the standard deviation for the y's, and the sum of the xy's. A lot of statistical formulas, especially when you get into regressional analysis, use this information. So if you're having to calculate formulas by hand, this calculator can at least show you a lot of the summary statistics, and you don't have to do that. Of course, this calculator can do most of the regressional statistics for you, but some of your professors may not like that very much. So play around with your calculator, and that's just basically the summary statistics. One var stats, two var stats. Again, that's through the Calc menu.